We have made it to halfway through the week, everyone. Welcome into the News 10 Plus Digital Desk. I'm Taylor Gattoni with Claudia Sella.
Hey everyone, happy Wednesday. We are halfway there. And you know, I gotta say, we have a really good show, a really good, happy, pick-me-up, good Wednesday show.
We need that.
Yeah, we do. I always need like something to get me through the week. Like if I'm like, oh, I'll watch a movie tonight, or I'll go outside tonight. I need something to get me through the week, and I can tell you, Studio 10 can get you through the week.
Oh, yes.
So today we are talking with Bunky from Sleep in Heavenly Peace about why it's so important to have your own bed. You know, I think it's really important that people know this. About 6,000 kids right in the area don't have their own bed. A lot of them sleep on the floor as well. And, you know, sharing a twin bed with a sibling, that's not sufficient. Everyone needs their own bed.
Even having your own bed, sometimes as an adult being in a twin, you're like, oh, I need room to roll around.
Yep, you need room. And, you know, I think a lot of people forget that, you know, your sleep habits don't just impact your sleep. They impact everything. They impact your life. They impact when you go to school, how much you're focusing. They impact, you know, basic growth overall. And that's what we're talking about today, because for our Make an Impact tomorrow, we will be talking with them again. But Bunky's really fun too. So Bunky's a great, he's really the best mascot there
Advocating for those beds for mid-Michigan kids.
Absolutely. And so we're going to talk about that, why it's important, and we're also talking with Sylvan about why they're getting on board to help Sleep in Heavenly Peace make all of this possible. And so that's, you know, that's a really good pick-me-up to remind us that we can help people right in our community. We can help, you know, maybe it's your neighbor, maybe your neighbor's kids don't have their own bed, and you know, so much of this goes back into the community. So,
well, like you said, it's not just having gratitude for what you have, it's providing more of the support for our community.
Yes, because you never know. You never know who needs it. And so this is just a really great way to give back. And then, speaking of, you know, pick-me-ups through the week, today we're celebrating margaritas.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, margarita.
All right.
It is a margarita day, so we are going to be talking with B-Teeny. They've been on our show before, but this time they're going to talk a little bit more about specifically their margarita cocktails, which are absolutely amazing.
So instead of like a wine Wednesday, you could do a margarita Wednesday and just switch it around.
Yes, because it's always 5 o'clock somewhere, especially in Margaritaville, and that's what we're going to be talking about today.
I love that.
Yes, so if you need a good pick-me-up, join us at 3 p.m. You will not regret it. So.
All right, well, looking forward to that. Thank you, Claudia.
Absolutely, see you then.
I gotta put this away, there we go. I know Colton's busy in a meeting right now, so we're gonna stall a bit, jump to some other things. But yes, you will see Claudia coming up at 3 o'clock today. Thank you, Claudia. And here is where you can stay up to date with Studio 10, of course. Those are their handles for their social media pages at WILX Studio 10. Very easy to find. And then, of course, if you want to participate in any of their interactive questions, you're more than welcome to go to Studio 10 at WILX.com. And you'll be able to find more information or be able to contact them with the information if you want to participate in their show, if you plan on advertising, if you're a business. Otherwise, if you want to be able to participate in their questions, have that shout out on air, which is always super cool. Of course, you can email them studio10 at WILX.com, and you'll be able to see if you get a little shout out. Otherwise, let me show you where you can find them on YouTube. All I did was typed in WILX Studio 10. Of course, you can see this is their page, and if I click videos, you can see all the many, many videos happening, or stories that they've been able to post throughout Studio 10. So great stuff right here if you ever need inspiration for what to do in the area. Maybe you want to check out something new, maybe something's coming up and you need some plans, ideas, or maybe you just want to pass some of this stuff forward to someone else. Maybe they didn't get to watch it, like Girl Scouts. I know we went crazy for the Girl Scout cookies here in the newsroom. So again, at WILX Studio 10 is all you need to look up for any of those videos if you want to rewatch anything, if you can't watch it at 3 o'clock, or hey, maybe you want to watch it again because you loved it so much and you maybe even want to pass it forward to a friend, a loved one. Well, at WILX Studio 10 is all you have to look up. So there you go. I do want to share what else we have coming up today, starting with First at 4. So the month of February, we're talking about Black History Month. And so today we're bringing on an expert to talk about the significance of Black History Month. And not only the significance as a whole, but more specifically, the impact that it's had across mid-Michigan, the entire history of Black history across our area. So we want to dive deeper into that history and tell you all about it because it's fascinating. And then coming up, News 10 at 5, we have coming up on that, a Muskegon County judge has granted a family's request to block the donation of a loved one's organs, even though her driver's license lists her as an organ donor. So we'll explain the judge's decision. Again, that is coming up, News 10 at 5. And today, coming up, News 10 at 5:30, today saw the 58th graduation of sobriety court in an Ingham County courtroom. So according to research conducted by the Michigan Supreme Court, these graduates will be significantly less likely to be convicted of new alcohol or drug-related offenses in the future. We hear from some of those graduates coming up on News 10 at 5:30. Coming up, News 10 at 6 today, the investigation into whether signatures obtained by Unlock Michigan were obtained legally has concluded. Attorney General Dana Nessel emphasized that there is no transparency in how the signatures were obtained and where the funding was coming from. Our very own News 10's Deanna Giles will be talking to businesses that were impacted during the pandemic. That is what we have coming up during our 90 minutes of news today. And before I head on over to what we have Aaron Bowling doing and what Mars Anderson will be doing later today for our 90 minutes of news, you did hear Claudia Sella talk about Sleep in Heavenly Peace. So here at News 10, partnering with Sleep in Heavenly Peace in an effort to supply kids in mid-Michigan with a bed, because like you heard Claudia say, they're either sleeping on the floor, sharing beds with their siblings, maybe they're even on the couches, but again, some of them, a lot of them on the floor. 6,000 kids across mid-Michigan do not have a bed. So that's why we want to show you Sleep in Heavenly Peace, talk about the great efforts that they're doing to provide beds for mid-Michigan children across our area and giving them that bed, giving them a place that they can call their own so they can sleep in it and have a great night's rest, right? I know many of us wake up, we're feeling groggy in the morning, and we have a bed. Think of those who do not have a bed. So we want to be able to help them get a good night's rest, a great night's rest, and have their own bed that they can call their own. Really a great effort by Sleep in Heavenly Peace. They're collecting bedding supplies, twin size bed sets. You're talking pillows, sheets, comforters, anything that you would want and need to be able to have a great night's sleep. That's what they're looking for, to be able to, again, help those kids across mid-Michigan. So the information is right there. And if you want more information, head to our website, WILX.com. You're going to click on the hot button link. And then also, if you scan this QR code on your screen with your cell phone camera, it'll pull up a whole wish list from Amazon of all the items in need that we're providing to Sleep in Heavenly Peace, again, helping the children across mid-Michigan. And then tomorrow, I just want to make mention of this, tease ahead to it. Tomorrow, we're having our telethon. So you're able to call into our studios, you're able to place those donations and really help those kids across mid-Michigan get that bed. Really a great impact right here. So again, tomorrow, all day long here on News 10, you can expect us talking about Sleep in Heavenly Peace, the great effort that Sleep in Heavenly Peace does, and then the impact it has across our community. So different donation locations include Tommy's Express Car Wash in West Saginaw and Delta Township. You have Sylvan Learning Centers, and then those are in Lansing and Jackson. Claudia was just talking about them, and members from Sylvan Learning Center in Jackson and Lansing will be talking about why they think it's so important to be involved in this campaign. So you're going to hear that more coming up at 3 o'clock today on Studio 10. Again, Claudia Sella was making mention of that. And then also you can donate any donations to our location here in South Lansing. That is 500 American Road. That is our studios, and we already have plenty of donations. Well, I don't want to say plenty. Well, we have a lot. We have a lot of donations out in the front. I went out there and saw all of these boxes. So thank you for those who have donated already. This is making quite the impact across our area. And again, tomorrow is all you have to look forward to for that telethon and how we will be making an impact. So that is what you need to know. I'll leave that up there for a little bit longer if you need to scan that QR code. And find out where you need to go to help make an impact. Until then, though, I do want to share what our reporters have coming up during our 90 minutes of news. So we're going to start with Mars Anderson coming up News 10 at 5. Mars.
Hi, Taylor. Mars Anderson here. I am outside of the Michigan State Police Training Academy, where a place of worship security training is going on. So that means members of security teams from different places of worship here in Lansing have come together to learn new skills and training techniques offered by the Michigan State Police. I'll have more details on that in our 90 minutes of news.
All right, thank you, Mars. We have Aaron Bowling coming up, News 10 at 6. Aaron?
Thanks, Taylor. Today I'm at the Clinton County Courthouse again. That's because the jury is continuing deliberations for the murder trial of Thomas Olson. Olson is accused of shooting and killing a Bath Township hunter in 2018. So far today, the jury has asked a few questions and also asked to review some testimony. I'll be here waiting for that verdict to come in. I'll have a recap of today's events on News 10 at 6 o'clock. Back to you, Taylor.
All right, thank you, Aaron. Again, waiting for that verdict to come down in the trial against Thomas Olson, accused of shooting and killing Bath Township hunter Chong Yang back in 2018 at Rose Lake State Park. So that is what Aaron will have coming up, News 10 at 6 o'clock today. I do want to show our You're Not Alone mental health campaign that we're doing all year long here on News 10. You're seeing that on your screen right now. And so all year long here on News 10, airing stories from community members on their own mental health journey, talking to mental health care professionals, speaking on the different symptoms to look out for, the treatment and even prevention that they are doing. And of course, that QR code right there, if you scan that with your cell phone's camera, you'll click on the link and it'll bring you to the list of resources around our mid-Michigan community. So go check that out, whether it's for you or someone else that you know or love that is going through a rough time. And everyone's journey is different. I do want to make mention of that. Everyone is going through something different. You know, we interact with different people. We have our own different experiences and perspectives with those experiences. So you never quite know what's going on with someone. And I know some of the smiliest people I've met in my life sometimes have the hardest challenges. So it's always good to check up on people, see how they're doing. And if they're not doing well, it's great to have this resource and pass it forward. And then again, here on News 10, even today, talking about Rochelle LeGrand has a story coming up on Studio 10 at 3 o'clock today, speaking with a psychotherapist who thought therapy was weak. For those, you know, if you had a weakness, that's when you went to therapy. Therapy is not a sign of weakness at all. In fact, it is a sign of strength and bravery, being vulnerable, opening up to someone else about your experiences and working through that to improve your emotional well-being. So again, there's that QR code. Go scan that with your cell phone's camera. I do have Riley Connell standing next to me right here.
Hello.
Hello.
On this beautiful day.
Oh yes, you got the,
Very nice
the bright
outside.
green. I got the bright pink.
Yeah, it was time for spring, I think.
We're feeling the spring.
It
Yes, we
feels,
are.
yeah, it feels like spring, and it looks like spring too because the potholes are already revealing themselves, and that's exactly what we're talking about today. Not just the potholes, but really the treacherous roads in general across the state of Michigan. So you might remember a couple weeks ago we talked about state roads and funding for state roads and kind of how the state is gathering new ways to pay for those roads. Well, we're talking about the county roads today, which has its own separate way of funding things. They don't have the same access to those federal dollars. And that's what I heard from the County Road Association earlier today. Yeah, from cities to counties, even townships can, run their own millages if they need to pay for some roads in their area. But we heard a presentation this morning from the County Road Association talking about their funding needs. So they say they need about $2.4 billion to bring the roads kind of up to snuff, so to speak, for people to drive on. And that's a huge increase in the need for funding across the last couple of years. So we saw a presentation from them talking about, this is where we really need these repairs, and this is, where we need the most funding, kind of asking the state, asking lawmakers to put some more money in their direction so that they can get out there and make some of those repairs. So I just got back from, it is a lot of money.
But a lot of potholes and repairs.
Definitely, and not even just repairs to the roads, but equipment costs and general maintenance costs. They say, inflation has hit the market for, construction work as well. The cost of materials is up. So those are a couple of the reasons that they're seeing such a big increase in the need for funding. And I believe between 2021 to 2023, it was a 28% increase in the need for funding. And some of the folks at the County Road Association tell me that's the biggest increase they've seen in a really long time. So we talked about some different ways that they can gather funding for that, that townships or other areas in the county can gather funding for that. So talking a little bit about that, but I did talk to some drivers out there today.
Oh,
I just came from the Michigan roads myself, of talking to some people out there in the
Was it bumpy?
community. It was a little bit bumpy. Some people who were a little bit, a little bit camera shy, but I talked to a lot of people who, even the interviews you see in the story are sometimes not the total, breadth of people that I've talked to. So I talked to a lot of people out there today who were even driving from out of state, driving from further downstate, and a lot of them say, when you cross that border into Michigan because it gets bumpy. And we even here at Channel 10, maybe you caught our Facebook post yesterday, we asked people where the worst roads in mid-Michigan are. And the response that I saw more often than even, naming roads was it would be easier to name the roads that aren't terrible. So I think that really speaks for itself, definitely.
That's pretty telling.
Yeah, the opinions were pretty much the same, is that, the cost falls onto people sometimes with making repairs, replacing tires. I talked to some
Car
people
expenses are not cheap.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, replacing a full set of tires or even one tire that's popped, I think we've all done it. It's not fun. It's a really unexpected expense. Maybe not so unexpected for people driving in Michigan, but we're going to do a full breakdown of the funding that the County Road Association is asking for, and some of the ways that they're working toward meeting that goal so that they can get out there and patch up those potholes and make repairs to bridges and overpasses. So yeah, I mean, driving in the city of Lansing, that there are a lot of potholes, but it's those roads that extend outside of the city lines too, for folks who live elsewhere in Ingham County or Eaton or Jackson or Clinton, wherever your kind of home base is. They say those are those county roads that people are really using in their residential areas like quite often. So they've seen, huge expenses that have come up, and they're exploring lots of new ways that they could get some funding, but it is definitely a tough goal to meet, $2.4 billion. So, and it's money that's not always guaranteed, so they are hoping
and it's hard to stretch that money too. You'd think that $2.4 billion is a lot. Well, it is a lot. If you or I had that in our pockets, we will gladly take that.
Oh, yeah.
But to fix the roads, completely different story.
Yeah, and it has to go across all of the counties too. So, you have that big chunk of funds that have to be, issued out to different counties and townships. Like I had mentioned, a little bit of a different story with some townships being able to, levy a millage if folks in the community want to vote for that. But really the struggle is trying to find a way to pay for it without putting an even greater burden on taxpayers. That's definitely the tricky part. So I made sure to address that earlier. But they're really hoping to get the funding that they need so that the cost isn't so great for people who are using the roads. So
yeah, well, I'm sure a lot of people, and you can let us know in the comments how you feel
sure.
about that. Continue letting us know where you see the worst roads across mid-Michigan. It might be hard to narrow it down. So list them all out. You can do that in the live chat here. You can also WILX Riley Connell. I don't know if you have a post or anything up, but if you want to, people can go there.
We've got something on Facebook too. Feel free to add to that as well. If you want to talk about where the worst road in your area is. This is not the last road story that we're doing for sure. So if you ever see something, it's going to be never ending, especially as we get into the spring. So if you've really got a nasty area out there that is lined with potholes or any other kind of damage, or you just want to rant about the roads a little bit, feel free to get to me on Facebook, get to our Facebook posts, leave it in the comments right now. We're here to listen.
Yes.
We understand.
There we go. Riley Connell's your girl. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and then News 10 at?
News 10 at 5:30. Yes.
Right. Sounds good. We'll look forward to that, and maybe you can watch that before you head home, back from work or wherever you may be, and get some more ideas as to the potholes to look out for. I know a lot of people. It's dangerous too, though. You have people swerving because they don't want to hurt their car, but then you got to watch out for the other cars around you, and then just big bumps, and it doesn't sound good in your car. So News 10 at 5:30. We'll look forward to that.
Definitely protect your vehicles out there. Very protective of my Subaru, so I try to straddle those potholes when I see them coming up. So
well, thank you, Riley.
Yeah, of course.
All right, News 10 at 5:30. We will see you then. Let's just take a little live look outside downtown Jackson right now because, you can see the roads there, not so clearly, but just taking a little look there for now. I do want to show that. And then give me a second here. Let me show it toward Delta Skycam. We'll have some better looks at the roadways. There you go. Overall, some clouds out in the sky, lots of clouds out in the sky actually, mostly cloudy. You are getting some of those blue skies as well. We've seen it coming and going throughout the day. So kind of just depending where you are, it's shifting here and there. But looks like traffic's moving smoothly out there. Roads are definitely dry. Of course, feeling great today. So make sure that you are heading outside if you can. It's feeling like spring. I know a lot of people are excited about that. I'm excited about it. Hopefully you are too. But like Riley was talking about, there's many potholes, and because of this warmer weather, all that snow is melting, you're seeing more of the potholes being uncovered, and with the weather that we have had recently, because it is so warm today, but then we're on that roller coaster, which Colton Cichoracki will have more of that coming up during Studio 10. Again, very busy today, talking about another little weather special that you can look forward to. I'll leave out the full details, but that is something you can look forward to. However, with the changing temperatures that you're going to be seeing right here in the 10-day forecast, or 7-day forecast, excuse me, that Colton left up, you are seeing this little bit of a roller coaster. So of course we are feeling fantastic today, 57 degrees, and then you're even looking at Friday when we drop down to the 30s, and overnight Friday into Saturday 14 degrees. Well, these potholes, they form because that freeze thaw with the temperatures. So of course with this roller coaster of a forecast that we have over the next 7 days, extending even into 10-day forecast, not helping our Michigan roadways. And of course we live in Michigan where you get all 4 seasons and not even just a day, but you could have all 4 seasons in an hour. Yeah, our roadways do not like that. So again, Riley Connell will have more coming up, News 10 at 5:30, talking about the potholes, all the funding to not only help the potholes, but all of the equipment, materials needed for the construction workers to get that done. And I actually did see, I was in my hometown over the weekend, and did see some pothole crews out there repairing it with the asphalt. And so just be cautious if you do see those crews out on the roadways. They're helping us repair our roads, making sure that we have a smoother drive. So just be cautious of them. They're doing us a favor. Move over, slow down, and respect their space. So there we go. I will show you that 7-day forecast one more time because, again, feeling great if you can get outside today. Even with the mostly cloudy skies, you're still seeing the blue and that sun. So definitely make sure you go soak it up. And then again, Colton, very busy, so he's unable to share the forecast today. But of course, you have the First Alert Weather app, which is completely free off of Google Play and the Apple App Store. You can go check that out right there. Always a great place to have, or great tool to have on your phone. I used it this morning to figure out what to wear. Of course, I hear our meteorologists every day share the forecast, but you know, sometimes in the morning you don't know if you need to change it up a little bit, but just a great tool to have on your phone. Plus, you get the traffic alert updates if there's any accidents or road conditions you need to be aware of. I do see some questions here. Wow. Shane, hot day here 100. Where are you, Shane? That is very, very hot. I see the kangaroos. So Australia, let me know. And then Chris, good afternoon. Did you guys do a live this morning? Chris, I am actually unsure. I believe Crystal did something. If not, that was Monday, and I'm getting my days a little mixed up. We were in that midweek funk. And then my road in my neighborhood is not good. Yeah, Chris, a lot of them are not great. So feel free to share some of those roadways that you're seeing more specifically on our Facebook page, helping Riley Connell out, figure out where those terrible roads are. Again, she says it's probably easier to name the roads that are completely fine as opposed to naming all the roads that are not fine across mid-Michigan. So appreciate you guys for commenting in the chat. That means a lot. You will have a lot more coming up with Studio 10 at 3 o'clock. Just over a half an hour here, and Colton Cichoracki will have more on your First Alert forecast coming up. But I mean, there's not much to share today besides get outside and soak up the sun and the warmth and the blue skies that are being shown here and there. I'll show a live look over Mason. You are seeing more of the blue skies as compared to Delta Township and Jackson. So these clouds will keep shifting and moving throughout the day. That's typically what happens. That is what happens. And then Colton Cichoracki will have more coming up, Studio 10 and First at 4 today, to talk about what you need to know for the coming week, especially with that roller coaster of a forecast. Again, here it is one last time. So just prepare, finding or figuring out your wardrobe for the next week. You're definitely going to have to check in with the forecast to figure out hey, are we going to be in the 50s, closer to 60s, or are we dropping back down to the 30s? So we're kind of just getting yanked like tug of war in every which direction. Thank you, Michigan Weather. But again, Colton will have more coming up, Studio 10, followed by First at 4, and then Andy Provenzano will have much more coming up during our 90 minutes of news and 10 at 11. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, everyone.